Welcome to Teen Vehicle Reviews.
I was yawning in that. Go again.
Welcome to Teen Vehicle Reviews. Today we have a 2014 Kia Sportage.
Yes.
The dash is made of 3 subcircles. The furthest left one is the tachometer. The biggest one in the middle is both the speedometer and the trip computer, along with additional warning signs. The one on the far right is your oil temperature and your gas mileage and how much you have left. The steering wheel, it feels decent.
I like the power steering.
There's a lot of power steering in this car. Like, it's very smooth. It's not overbearing. Considering handling, that's probably the best part. The steering itself is very nice. On the side, you have trip reset buttons, and on the right, there are no buttons. Center console features nice to push from a further distance. They appear somewhat tacky buttons. The buttons in the car feel nice. Some of the ones on the steering wheel wear out after time, though, just from constant use and the fact that they're not the highest quality materials. The design of the steering wheel as well is very nice. The horn is actually very dinky sounding, but I mean, that's not a very big problem. On the side, you have your windows, one of which is power. The driver's side window is power down, but not power up. The other ones aren't automatic at all. The trip computer is easy to read, and it's bright, and it's in the middle of the screen, and it also shows you which gear you're in. If you switch to manual mode, it'll have information on that. The rest of the center console is very easy to use and simple.
It's very basic controls, and then you have the air conditioning settings all right here.
Yes, it's just 8 buttons, which is how automakers really should be doing it without, for example, the S-Class has that entire row of buttons across the bottom.
And you have your power outlets with an auxiliary port and USB port as well. Very, very useful necessities nowadays.
There's a handle in
because you're driving so fast in this car.
In this car,
you just need to embrace like the speed and just be like, oh, handles.
You've got tons of handles. You've got the Teen Vehicle Reviews approved handles.
Yes. You have nice meme.
Yes. The seats go everywhere.
You have the basic mirrors. No vanity lighting.
There's no lighting.
Surprising. But you have sunglasses. That's a very common feature nowadays. That's not sunglasses. That's a sunglasses holder. You have a nice and spacious
the glove box is pretty big.
Yes.
That's one nice thing.
You have your center console compartment. Which is
lots
nice
of storage
as well. Cup holders, visible, easy to use cup holders. Storage compartment back here.
There's also one
room in the back. There's actually a lot of space in the back.
The back has a lot of room, especially for this.
Yeah. You have air conditioning units back here.
For the price point, this car comes with a lot of decent features and has.
You cannot beat this car for a price. If you're looking for like a mid-size,
like entry level 4-door car,
this is it. Reliability, gas mileage, and just the features. I mean, like, you got a driving car and you have Bluetooth and auxiliary.
Yes, one of the big things that this car has is a lot of Kias actually is this car Kia's been winning in awards for initial quality in almost every segment now because they can undercut their competitors. All the creature comforts that they can provide in the cabin at such a low price, really. And while there are other parts of the car that suffer, as we'll mention later, really it's going to be minute differences in that you notice across the model range offered by lots of other competitors such as Volkswagen and Toyota. While their ride quality may be a bit better in those cars, you're not going to be able to beat the amount of interior and upscale trims that you can get in the Kia, despite this being a base model.
But it's a nice car. Like, I feel comfortable in this. And like,
it's a very safe, it's an agreeable car.
Yes, like I would have fun in this car, like, regardless.
It's a decent car.
Yes. Like, it may not drive fast, but, like, heck, if you need a car, this is a great option.
Yep.
It's definitely reliable, too. You don't have to buy a new clutch.
2014 Kia Sportage Ex features a 1.4-liter inline-4 engine with GDI technology, makes 133 horsepower, and its top speed is 111 miles an hour. It gets about 29-33 gas mileage. It's an efficient engine that will be very reliable for years to come. This car, the suspension is not very well tuned. It's a pretty rough ride. and it varies between stiff and kind of soggy.
Soggy. Yes, because it is wet.
Yes.
Well, like, I know what trait means because it is kind of stiff. Like right now, you can feel almost all bumps.
Everything. And the car, it is an inline 4 with only 133 horsepower, but overtaking in this car will be no problem. You don't have to worry about that.
It's definitely a sportier driving experience.
Then,
especially
for example, like a base RAV4, you wouldn't get the same driving experience out of that.
Like a 4Runner, if you're trying. I guess this comparison could be to the RAV4. But, like, this car looks better than a RAV4.
This car, one of the best parts about this car and all of Kia's models, there's an emergency signal here that is never red.
Been red. Yeah, I've never encountered
Oh, it's
red.
so weird when this is red.
This is one of the best looking.
In its segment,
I can't believe how cheap it is. That's what I.
This car starts around 16,000, maybe 14, and it's
for a new car.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Very
you
decent
can't
car.
beat that.
The cloth seats are not gross like they are in many other cars.
Oh, I like that.
They're a decent stitching,
and they smell good.
They smell pretty good. Yeah, it's a decent interior, but again, what you're getting with your money is not the same ride refinement that you would get from the smaller Japanese cars, such as Nissan's offering and Toyota's offering, but you get more comforts on the inside of the car, and you get a much better designed car. This car looks incredible for its market segment. It beats all of its competitors in the design area.
Yep.
The 2010 to 2015 Sportage, and it gets great gas mileage.
Can't beat it.
So while you are losing something for handling, although it's responsive,
but like
the body roll in this car, because the suspension is so unrefined, the body roll is insane even when you're just changing lanes.
I feel like that's the only something us, like someone who actually pays attention to that, is going to worry about.
It's something you wouldn't
notice. If you're not really concerned about that,
yeah, exactly,
then you have nothing to lose in buying
the
this
average car buyer is going to be more concerned with having Bluetooth in the car than body roll. So if you want something that has lots of good...
It's better than a Nissan Juke.
Yeah, for example, if you want a car that looks good, looks like more than it costs, and it's comfortable on the inside, and you don't care as much about technical specifications of the car, and you care more about your experience when you're inside the car, this is going to be the car that you want over the competitors that offer maybe a more refined ride and more driving capability.
I would buy it. I would drive this as a
point.
teenager, like I would be perfectly okay with it. Now, if I was driving a 2003 Ford Ranger,
Edge.
Be questioning myself a little bit. Kia found a way to perfect the less expensive cars, and I applaud them for doing so because they've done such a great job. What excites me about this, if Kia perfected the lower end cars to this level, what is their high end? Like
the K900 and the Cadenza.
Oh my gosh!
They completely undercut the German and the German rivals for price, because you're going to get such a better experience out of those cars for that price point than you will German cars of the same in the same segment.
Their downfall is front wheel drive. That's
the biggest problem.
If Kia incorporated rear wheel drive into their cars, I think Kia would be winning the game at this point.
It's Asian car reliability, but on top of that, Kia has the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on their cars.
That's probably the life of most cars. Like, how long someone's going to own a car.
I think the average time that a car stays on the road is like 11 years. So if anything goes wrong basically during the life of the car, which is unlikely already, you're covered.
Exactly. You win, Kia. How do you feel? Close it from here.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us. I'll be the judge of that.
Hey, I think we should put leaves in this shot.
Good point.
Leave. Ready for this horrible shot. Welcome to Team Night Reviews.